She says, I chose this case because it is controversial. It's unlike any case I ever wrote about. Words are weapons, and we should start understanding and realizing that. It's a modern true crime case. This case wouldn't have happened in the 80s because mobiles weren't ubiquitous then.
Right.
You're now connected so easy, just a message away. It's easily done. Texting is. Just type it in and send. Easy, but words can have a big impact on someone. And as you see with the MC case, she could have helped him, but instead she repeated herself over and over again, telling Conrad to kill himself. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Arsenic Espresso. And tonight we are going to react to more SKYND.
Yeah.
Very excited about this. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything we've listened to so far. Loved it all.
More serial killers.
More serial killers.
Do you know this one?
I didn't know it off the top of my head, but I do remember it now that I looked it up. So back in 2014, Michelle Carter was accused of involuntary manslaughter for texting her then boyfriend, Conrad Henry Roy III, encouraging him to commit suicide. And then he did. And his last text messages were from her being like, yes, you should do it. Like taunting him and like horrible things.
Yeah.
She was 17 years old when it happened. It was a difficult case because the boyfriend had been showing signs like suicidal tendencies for a while. And so then there was this level of like, would he have done it anyway?
Right. Like,
how responsible is she? Did she push him over the edge, or was this something that he was going to do regardless of what she said, kind of deal? And it says it raised questions pertaining to the nature and limits of criminal responsibility.
Yeah. That is interesting because, yeah, if somebody said, like, they're going to kill themselves and then, like, you give them the gun.
Yes.
Right? Like.
Well, assisted suicide, doctors are held responsible for, like, murder.
Right.
Even if it's within the patient's own.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Was it just a terrible thing for somebody to do, or was it directly responsible for his death, and should she be held responsible? I can understand how that can be.
Well, and it's an interesting case because it was really the first of its kind in the technology world. Up to that point, there had never been something so like cut and dry, correlated, and caused.
Right.
Like,
gotcha.
Was it actually murder because she wasn't physically him?
Gotcha.
Causing the harm.
Because, like, part of the problem is having to prove, like, beyond reasonable doubt, right? Is that what it is?
Well, that's why she got involuntary manslaughter.
Okay. Because they couldn't charge her with, like, murder one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
But then even, like, at the very beginning stages of the internet, there were several cases of, like, cannibals finding victims, like, willing victims in these, like, super bizarre chat rooms.
Oh, I've heard about this,
and, like the person being like, hey, I want to die, like, you feel free to eat me, like, I will write it in like a legal document, like, it's yours. And then the person is found that they have like killed someone, and the lawyers are like, it was in their last will and testament that they were okay with this kind of thing. And it's like no one had experienced anything like that before, and it was all because of chat rooms, because there were no connections to people other than the chat room itself. Back to Michelle Carter.
All right. I am intrigued to see how they do this. SKYND is really good at what they do.
And it was also difficult because she was a minor.
Oh, yeah.
Cherry on top.
All right. Where is my... Here it is. No. This one? No. Wait, this one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Third time's the charm. This is literally the third video we filmed tonight, and we still can't get stuff started.
I'm struggling.
And by we, I mean him. Can't get stuff started correctly.
Well, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Links down in the description for merch and other ways you can support us. If not, just feel free to watch along with us. Or something.
Or something. Whatever you want.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
Like the texting sound. It's already set it up.
You're gonna have to prove me wrong. I don't think that's what you really want. Do it now, you can think about it. It's time now, you know that. When you get back, you just gotta do it. It's the best time to do it. You keep pushing it another night and say you'll do it, but you never do it right. I love you. Long time, I love you. Long time, I love you. Long time.
I think I've said it in all of their videos, but I love the fact that they lean so heavily into synthesized voices. Like, there's a huge trend in music, raw vocals, blah, 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 all of that stuff, which love it. We love like natural raw talent, whatever. But I love that they lean so hard into the synthesized vocals. There's no question that her voice is being manipulated, and it's manipulated to make you feel certain emotions.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it's very similar to the synthesizers that, like, you know, the ransom, murderers used when they call the ransom or whatever,
like
kidnappers,
voice,
ransom. You understand what I'm saying?
The voice.
Yeah. So it gives you sort of
yeah.
that same. It plays off of that already. So yeah.
And sit there in your car. It will take 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes. In your truck and drive in a parking lot. Do it now, do it now. Just park and sit there in your car. It will take 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes. No time. I love you. No time. I love you. No time. I love you. No time. You can break a promise. I want you to be ready and sure. I thought you wanted to do this. Not finding a place to go is no excuse. A kid in his car, turn the radio on. In a quiet parking lot and do it, it won't take long. No more pushing it off, you keep pushing it off. The sooner you know you won't get caught. See the radio in your car. See them feel in your lungs. You won't feel nothing. You won't feel anything. You keep pushing it off. You keep pushing forward so long. Until they know you'll be free. Till they know you'll be happy. I love you. Long time. In your truck and drive in a parking lot. Do it now. Just park and sit there in your car. It will take 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes. In your truck and drive in a parking lot. Do it now. Just park and sit there in your car. It will take 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes.
I like how they are depicting like the suffocating, right? I mean, it's just a scarf, right? But it's that's like the depiction there.
Yeah, just the alluding to.
I'm curious too if all the lyrics are the exact transcripts.
I know. I want to find that out too.
Or if there's some.
I feel like there would have to be. I think out of respect for the family of the deceased, I don't think you would want to use word for word what was said. I feel like that would be kind of tacky, and so if it turns out that these are word for word texts, I feel like that's tacky. I feel like that's very disrespectful to his family.
Yeah.
So we'll look that up. We'll look that up after. I mean, these were the final words that he read. These were the final thoughts that were like being forced into his mind before he killed himself. And
so at the same time too, though, like that is it's really good to shed light on the whole situation. we've said this before with their music, right? How they bring it up as a topic to talk about. Not to necessarily glorify the actions, but to see like how evil this ended up being, or how much and how I mean, this for instance was you know, whether it was super intentional or not, or whatever it was, because I still don't know the whole story exactly, but like just how like cyberbullying can go from like picking on somebody to make yourself feel good to like actually helping somebody commit suicide.
Right.
And so I think that it is important that that transcript is out there as well.
Agreed.
So that people see it. So I don't know.
I know they walk such a fine line of things that are too taboo to talk about and things that like desperately need to be talked about. And I think they always come at it rather from an angle that we're not used to seeing in just like regular conversations, even about these taboo topics. SKYND still comes from it from a different angle that makes everything a little bit more unnerving. I feel like it does make it a little bit more real. Because like I said, with the, let's see, what was the other video we watched? With the Catherine Knight video, I said like it's super easy reading about that event, reading about that murder. It's super easy to separate yourself from it because it did happen a few decades ago. It happened in Australia. Like there's tons and tons of time and spatial separation between like myself and that story. And it's really easy to just read it as something crazy that happened and not really put humans to the names of the people involved. Gotcha. And with all of the videos that we've watched from SKYND, I feel like they really humanize both the victim and the perpetrator. Because as much as I don't like glorifying the serial killers and murderers, I think it's really important to start to grasp that they too were human beings who committed these horrible crimes. Like they were people as well, and humanizing that face. Well,
that's the only way that you can sort of like help in the whole process too, right? Because if you just say, well, there's evil in the world and evil just happens, well, what are you doing to
you're placing the blame, you're deflecting.
Instead of actually trying to find the root cause of things, and trying to make society better, trying to make there less evil out there, so to speak. So
I'm equally as uncomfortable as I was watching Jim Jones for the first time.
Ooh, yeah.
In your car. It will take 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes.
That evil change in her voice just then, that like drop in the octave from the white-faced character, that it's like such a traditional trope of evil having that like deep guttural voice, and realizing that like in that moment she was evil. Like,
it wasn't just like cyberbully. It was like it was truly wanting to cause somebody harm and wanting to see somebody die. And that is awful.
It's evil.
Yeah.
Mm. I do feel equally as bad as I did after Jim Jones for the first time. It is so unsettling. Ugh. But I love it at the same time. Okay. I am going to see if they used the exact text, because also as I'm watching this, I'm remembering about this the like trial and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like her defendants were trying to say that she was saying these things because she thought that it was what he wanted the most, and she wanted him to know that she loved him so much she would support him through anything. And like that was how they tried like defending her action.
Gotcha.
And they were like, she's young. She thinks that love is Romeo and Juliet kind of thing.
Right. Gotcha.
That.
Yeah, I think
she did it intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, I think she wanted to kill him, but she was scared to kill him herself.
Right.
So.
And thought if he just did it himself.
She played on his depression.
Yeah. If he just did it himself, then she wouldn't be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
There's a whole like subgenre of true crime about like youth killings and the like psychotic breaks that happen in these like tween and teen children. And when many of them are like you watch the like interrogation videos and like, what made you do this? And they will like stone face, like no emotion, just be like, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
And like child killers are some of these they're so scary to me. Oh, they're so scary. Anyway, they have taken the publicly released text messages and included them in the lyrics, thus creating the hauntingly terrifying experience for the listener. That doesn't quite sit right with me.
Okay.
I would feel less bothered by it if I knew that the family had been like please use these text messages. Like I have no idea if the family ever made a statement like saying like giving license technically to these text messages and allowing people to utilize them.
Okay. I don't know. I think that just like with Jim Jones, I mean, they used his stuff as well. I feel like it's necessary.
Well, I could argue
it wouldn't be as powerful without
it. It wouldn't be as powerful without it, and I could argue that it's easier to listen to Jim Jones because that is something that did happen so long ago and so far away.
Yeah.
This was 2014.
Well, and it's something that you can detach yourself from too, because you yourself wouldn't fall for, or at least you don't feel like you would fall for something cult. Like a Jim Jones thing. Yeah. Whereas this, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little more close to home or whatever.
She said when asked about the reasoning behind focusing on this case, this is a article on wallofsoundau.com.
Okay.
Yes, Australia. Okay. She says, I chose this case because it is controversial. It's unlike any case I ever wrote about. Words are weapons, and we should start understanding and realizing that. It's a modern true crime case. This case wouldn't have happened in the 80s because mobiles weren't ubiquitous then.
Right.
You're now connected so easy, just a message away. It's easily done. Texting is. Just type it in and send. Easy, but words can have a big impact on someone. And as you see with the MC case, she could have helped him, but instead she repeated herself over and over again, telling Conrad to kill himself.
See, and I think, this is even worse. I feel like this is even more cut and dry than
Columbine was.
Well, I was gonna say, so I mean, thinking about like the video game lobbies and stuff, like for Halo and like Call of Duty and stuff, and how much like trash talk there was. Like that's still like there's. Whether it doesn't matter how like personal somebody gets with it, it's still like there's a disconnect, and there's things of that nature. But like the texting, like this was very, very clearly like she wanted to
like
cause
intimate and intentional
person harm.
Yeah.
Well,
and this says, I didn't know this, so she was sentenced This is absurd. She was sentenced to 2.5 years imprisonment, which was later reduced to 15 months plus 5 years probation upon her release on January 23rd, 2020. But
yeah, that seems
that's pretty light.
For being like the direct result.
Yeah. Because like someone who like this is a ridiculous example, but someone, you know, installing a air conditioner on the 15th floor of a New York City apartment building, drops it out their window and accidentally kills someone on the sidewalk down below, they would serve more time for that.
Right.
And that is accidental.
Yeah. Well, or even thinking like cuz like she did want to kill somebody, right? And so like even like dropping a brick on a highway or something like that, trying to cause harm to somebody, you would get more time than that for sure.
Yeah. 2.5 years is nonsense. That's dumb. That's dumb.
That's
anyway.
Agreed.
It is a horrible case. It is a fascinating case, and any cases where the perpetrator is a minor are very intriguing and horrifying at the same time.
Agreed.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, hit that thumbs up. You can subscribe to our channel for more reactions like this. And like Josh said earlier in the video, links to everything are down in the description box below.
See you guys next time.